Good evening, everybody. No music today. It's right into, oh, wait, it's going to start on its own. You watch here. There. Yep. See if I can shut it off. It's going by itself. You gotta love technology. I tried to stop it, but for some reason it wanted to keep on going. So, welcome everybody to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and tonight I have with me as my co-host David. But I also have the wonderful, amazingly intelligent, and of course gorgeous Michael-Fairman. Can you hear us now, Michael?
I heard the gorgeous, and my ears perked up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, you're perfectly fine.
Okay, good. How are you?
I'm doing good,
fine.
Thanks.
Hello, Michael. How are
David,
you?
how are you? What's going on?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Where are you, David? Where are you located?
I'm in upstate New York area by Schenectady.
Ah, okay. And Pam, you're in Illinois.
That's where I am, yep.
Okay.
In the freezing cold.
Okay, well, I'm in La La Land, and it's very warm, and we have gusty winds, so there you go.
I'll trade with you. I could take the gusty winds. I mean, that's nothing for us. So how was your day? Did you do anything exciting?
I did. Well, exciting, I'll just say that tomorrow I booked a lot of really exciting interviews that I think the fans will be very excited to find out in the coming weeks. So, yeah, some really great biggies that I won't divulge yet, but I can just say there's some good stuff coming to Michael-Fairman on Air on Soap. So stay tuned for that. But
well, yeah, we're never disappointed by your articles or any of your interviews. There's not one I looked at and said, "Blah, that was boring."
Really, that's great to know. You never know when you're writing them and going through the process of it. You're like, "Is this okay?" But I think that I try to look at it from not only my perspective, but you guys, like the fans and people that watch the show, and what are the questions they really want to know, and I try to go as in depth as possible, and I know mine are a little more in depth than some others that you may read, but I think that's what's kind of fun about it. At least I hope that is.
Right, and you also get the ones that don't do interviews very often.
Right.
Yeah, so,
right.
We really love those.
Yeah, that's really, when you're looking to kind of book something on my end and trying to look for, at this point, it's kind of like, well, who hasn't been heard from that, people really want to hear from. And it's kind of, thank God over the years I built up enough of a reputation that they feel comfortable to talk to me. And, I think that's wonderful, and I'm pleased to be able to bring that to the audience. But, but it's a navigation. I'm sure, booking your show, it's kind of navigating through, a lot of different things of what people want to push and what they want to promote, and who wants to say something and who doesn't want to say something, but can you get them to talk? So,
right.
You just
yeah,
never a dull moment.
Yeah, well, I'm very grateful that every single guest I've had so far, I haven't had to push into talking and not giving me one-syllable answers. They've all been very generous with their answers. So
They're very flowing and very giving.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you find that. I will have to say, and I'm sure you know that, there really is something about the daytime performers who work in this medium, in this genre, that are very unique and very special. And I feel of any medium, they're really they're accessible in a way, and they're there for their fans. And I think they understand the importance of their fan bases and all being part of one big unit. We all have to band together to keep the shows on. I think that it's been an amazing year and a half after One Life and All My Children got canceled, and to see them being resurrected and being revived again in just a few weeks will be coming online. And also to see how the ratings have increased for the shows really speaks to everybody kind of putting pedal to the metal and going, we've got to save these shows. And I think the fans did, unquestionably. raised hell, and good for them. And whatever I could do, and the networks, there's been some shifts and changes that have really brought this kind of social networking that we're all involved in, and digital platforms and the television and events and everything to really keep the genre going, because I think it was really very scary there that it was all going to fall apart.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So it was kind of like do or die, and I think we did. So cheers.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could all stand on top of the Empire State Building and scream about One Life to Live and All My Children coming back and, saving the rest of the genre that's left out there, I think we'd all be up there in a minute.
Right, and
they'd hear us across the world.
Exactly, and that kind of brings us to our topic tonight of General Hospital. I mean, when you think of where that show was before Frank Valentini and Ron Carlivati got there, and whether it felt like it was living on death's door after the other two shows got canceled, and we look at what's happened, what an amazing celebration they just delivered to the fans. The anniversary episode, which we'll get into in the Nurses' Ball, and there were so many touching moments, and it's still going on. And I think this will be, this was a vehicle to get a lot of these favorites to come back and to see kind of, will they stay? Who knows?
Right.
And really cherishing the history of the show. And I think Ron really did that extraordinarily well. And as I'm sure you've seen today, there's more twists and twists and twists. So
yeah.
Yes.
I did not catch the whole episode, but I did catch when Stavros walked in. So that's as far as I got for today.
That's all that's the end.
That's the end? Oh, okay. I thought there was a little bit left.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
There he was, and that was it.
Oh.
Which shows that if you fall through a bottomless pit, you can still live.
Right.
Yeah,
you're never dead on a soap.
No, exactly.
There's always a way to bring them back, and I can't even begin to thank them so much for all the people that they have brought back from the day when GH was at its highest, and I don't want to see any of them leave. I know that some of them can't stay because, of course, that would be crazy and a lot of money and stuff, but I don't want any of them to leave.
No,
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, it was very interesting because if you watch the people that commented on air on soaps and people, a lot of people don't remember some of that. They weren't around for the 80s, and they're newer fans, and so their comments are, well, we got pushed aside. What about these other people? And there's so much story going on, and so there's really that balance of the old and the new that has to be done, to keep that audience going. But the stories are very juicy right now, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So, but I just thought that the General Hospital 50th anniversary episode, I thought was one of the best written episodes I've ever seen.
I know.
On a soap opera, and for an anniversary, because it is so difficult to put together something in an hour, which isn't even an hour worth of show, that really can, really defines what General Hospital has meant to these millions of fans who followed it for 5 decades. And I was moved many times in that time, and I just thought, when I looked at the writing of the script, and I think I posted what Jason Thompson's lines had been. He really had the lines in the show that really told the story of what General Hospital was, when he talked about, stories of love, stories of this, stories of adventure. I mean, that was really what the show was about.
Right.
And Audrey. I mean, there were so many great little things in there,
it's hard to pick just one thing.
There wasn't just one thing. It was just it was like a whole episode. And I had really, there's many times on my site that I get very, there's so much negativity, and sometimes I see so much negativity that I'm going to have to step in at a higher level with this than just the moderators, because there was so much bashing going on, and I was so pleased to know that when the General Hospital post went up for that episode, it was all really positive. I didn't find anybody that said in 300 posts going, I hated that. It was like a win across the board, and I hadn't seen that in a long time. So
that's so very true, and I'm so very happy to hear that as well. Because I know I read different things, and I just kind of shake my head and move on, Everybody can't be happy all at the same time, but at least we know with that episode everybody was. And I'm just going to take a moment here. David, would you talk with Michael, because we might have our other guest on the phone. I have to check, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. Yes, Michael?
Yes.
I was, just the other day I was listening to the after the show finale that you did for One Life with Blazing Ryan. And I have to tell you, I loved every minute of that show, and it still holds true. Remember what you told the listeners out there, that Frank and Ron get it.
Yep.
And
yeah, and that was exactly true. And so when you see, even then, when we did that very heartbreaking show, you knew they got it. The way they delivered those final 2 weeks of One Life to Live, and then you see it again. You see that they get it. They understood how to relate to their audience. You know what I mean? They're really relating to their audience. They're in on it. They want to give the fans stuff.
They just know what we want to see. They know how we feel, because they've been viewers themselves. They're not just the people in charge.
Right. Well, Ron is a huge soap. He loved soap operas, and he loved General Hospital. Before One Life, he watched General Hospital, and so those were his two shows. Can you imagine getting a chance to write both those shows?
Yes.
He shows a lot of love and passion for them in the way he writes them, and a great understanding of the history. And I was just commenting today to somebody, I was just saying, wow, Ron really gets this, because with Stavros returning and all of this stuff, it's interesting when you see someone really understand the audience and the deep history of the show, and sometimes that doesn't happen with people in charge at the shows,
That's true.
So where did Pam go? She got our...
I think she has caller on
line. One.
Could be.
So what was your favorite part of the nurses' ball?
Well, my favorite part, and I got to tell you, I'm a big sap when it comes to kids, so my favorite part was Call Me Maybe.
Oh, so cute.
Yep. By Teresa and little Brooklyn.
Yeah. It was really cute. I mean, but the end, my favorite was the very end. The very end, with Sabrina, Patrick, and Emma singing the song.
Oh, You're Not Alone?
You're Not Alone. That just did me in.
Yeah. I'm back, just to let you know. Go ahead. It's not yet.
What? Is mystery guest there or no?
No, not yet. It was just somebody that dialed in that had their number come up as ones, and, that's sometimes somebody special.
Well, you got my other note, right?
Other note?
I sent you a special
that
note.
You emailed me?
Yes.
No, I will look at it now, so go ahead and continue talking.
You should look at it.
I am. I'm trying to pull it up right now. Now you have me curious.
Well, so I have I have a surprise.
Ooh.
Oh, good.
I like you. See, I knew I liked you for a reason.
So you have to set your email. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have?
So you were talking about that You're Not Alone.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tearjerker. It
was a tearjerker. First of all, I not only was it, the deep meaning of it, and that they sang it to Emma, with Robin's picture hanging in the back, and then I just thought it was really great how they had the cast get up in unison and all stand around. Something about that really, I was reading something said it was so stupid that they all stood up. I actually thought it was really touching. It was like a show of unison to me, and
yes, yes.